Hello, my name's Emily Baker and welcome to March 2022's Perceptionary Card reading. If you don't know who I am a spiritual medium and psychic artist. I've been a spiritual medium for about 20 years now and psychic artist for over 15 years. So yeah, I've enjoyed doing both. The perceptionary cards are slightly different. So they're not your tarot cards, they are not angel cards. They're mostly there for you to see what you get to see. So I'll just give you a quick look. Very colourful cards, all of them very different. You can get your own pack at the bottom, and I've put in a description and a link for you to actually get your own pack if you wish to have a go yourself. So I'm just giving these a shuffle at the moment. Have a look, there we go. And what I'm going to do, as I have done with my previous readings, is to just pick a card randomly and then we'll have a look to see what it looks like and decide which way around it goes and actually have a look to see what I'm picking up for it for the month of March. Now, obviously, this month is about spring, isn't it, really? We've got snowdrops out, daffodils are out, crocuses are coming up. The birds are starting to nest, I've seen that. I've also seen, just picking a card, I've also, the days are getting longer in the morning and in the evening it's lighter at both ends of the day and it's lovely. I love this time of the year. April especially, I really do love. Okay, so I've picked a card. Okay, so this is a card. Okay. Right, so what I tend to do now is I look at it as you're looking at it on the screen. I don't really turn it around much because I get a completely different perspective. And so will you. When you have your own cards, when you pull it up close to yourself, you will actually see completely different things and different colours. Do bear in mind that what I get, I will turn it around just to check on the colours. But yes, I can already see a face here, and that looks like oh, actually I saw it the other way around as being a fox, but now I'm seeing it kind of like a foal there with its ears back. Okay. Okay, so we'll just turn it around this way. And you may be able, and I can see a big face now. Big face with kind of like a kind of like a horse's head coming down the center part, so almost like a shield, a very Nordic. It feels very, actually, yeah, it does. It actually feels, because there's scrubbly hair there, there's a beard there, nose, eye, and eye. Okay. I'm also looking at the colors as well and just looking to see which way around the card really feels to me. And in fact, I've kind of already decided, having it this way round, I'm looking to see, I can see an eagle's head there. There's its beak and there's its head. Hopefully you can see these things along with me. Please, if you want to put some comments, that's absolutely lovely. If I understand that you may kind of turn around and say, Emily, I don't get to see any of those things that you're pointing at, and that's absolutely fine. That's the point. Oh, no, yeah, I pointed out that face before, haven't I? Now, where did I see the fox? I did see the fox. The fox is kind of over here, because that's its ears there, and that's its face there. But for me, this is the way round. This is the way round I'd like to have it. For this month, that it just feels right for me to have it this way around. And again, you may feel like, oh no, it should be the other way around or something like that. But that's the beauty of these cards, because it is about how you perceive it, what it is that you're picking up, and hence why I've called them perceptionary, because what I get to see, what you get to see may be something different, and how we interpret may also be different as well. Right, so let's have a look. So I'm going to, first of all, I've already pointed out the man's face, and that's what's drawn me to having it this way round. I'm going to now just have a look at the colours. So the colour here, this is red. Now, I know this is March 2022. I know that in world terms, there is already things happening that are full of turmoil, full of emotions and things like that. Okay, so I am putting what world events are happening to one side. I am looking at the card and interpreting what I'm seeing from the card. Okay, I can't say fully that it's subconsciously that I may be putting it in, absolutely, but you know, I just like to put that in, that I am aware of what's happening in the world as well. Okay, so for me, that is perhaps about passion. That could be about energy. We'll see in a bit, and it's coming down here. Pink is about love. It's about caring, compassion, understanding. Now, you may have come across me saying this pink being something else in other videos, absolutely. But for me, this is the way that I'm feeling. It's about compassion and understanding. Okay, blue normally is about communication. That's the first thing that I would say, but it's also about emotion. Now, when we have a look a little bit closer, you can see that it's not smooth. All right, so either if you're wanting to look at it as communication or emotion, it is not a smooth ride at all. And in fact, I feel as though communication, if we just look at communication in itself, if we have a look at it here, it's a very pale, so it's a very light form of communication. It's not going to be, this is what I mean, this is where I'm going. But here, when we have a look at the eyes, and so if we interpret the eyes as it is, the eyes itself are kind of looking outward. They're looking, to me it looks quite a sorrowful gentleman, but we're looking perhaps with wisdom, looking outwards, and we're kind of saying, okay, communication needs to be there, but also the emotion. So for me, this is much more about emotion rather than communication. Communication is always there with emotions as well, because we communicate our happiness, our sadness, our anger, our confusion. Am I confused? So yes, we communicate those just as much. Okay. Green here, this is about learning, right? So there is learning to be had. And again, I'm kind of going, don't talk about world events, because really we should have learnt our lessons. Some would say this is whatever. And then we're back up to here with the pink as well. Now so what I'm looking at is things that are popping through. Now I'm looking at that here, and to me on the screen it looks, the first thing that I saw was a soldier wearing a cap. Now I look at it longer and it looks like a horse overlooking kind of like a gate or something like that. All right, so that's the way that I'm looking at that. I'm just going to turn the card around. Now as I turn the card around, it looks completely different, and this is the thing, when you have the card close up and when I look at it on the video screen, there's a distance, and certain things become clearer, certain things disappear, but other things pop out. The colour on the card, as I'm actually seeing it, is a lot more vivid. It's a lot more brighter than it's coming out on the screen. Right, so I have had a look back at that top part there, and yes, I would say it looks more of a horse than it does a gentleman. Okay. But I do see it as horses are very stoic animals. They're very strong, but they're also full of that understanding. They have their own wisdom, if you like. They have their own strength. Horses are, in fact, yes, I went and heard it in a film, of all things, Hallmark film, that, you know, we measure things in horsepower, don't we? Cars are horsepower. This is furlongs and things like that. So horses are very much our companion, our workmates, if you like, and they have been. And again, if I just draw your attention to this part here of this emblem on this man's head, again it looks like one of those Celtic horses. So again, the strength of the horse, but the agility of the horse is going to also be important for the month of March. So yes, we are going to be trundling through things, but we're also going to need the compassion, the understanding, the wisdom of the horse, as well as the agility and the stamina. Now for me, that's actually quite an interesting word that I've stopped there on the word stamina, because I feel as though it is going to be one of those months where we're going to need it on that emotional level. Our stamina is going to be needed on the emotional level. If I have a look here, I can see a face here. If I look down here, I can see what looks like a gentleman. And there's another gentleman here, strong arms folded across. And down here is a man sitting, perhaps fishing, pondering, looking. So I think we've got that juxtapose going on, but we have to nurture ourselves. And this is where this part of the learning comes in. It's not, for me, when it's a darker green, then we're coming into that energy of care, looking after ourselves, of healing, and things like that. For me, when I'm looking at lighter green, it's about learning, it's about growth, it's about that self-development. And then we kind of go into wisdom. But it's not into that green for me of the wisdom of learning yet. So it's about, it's learning, not yet using it. And I feel as though that will be coming into this whole thing of how do we learn to have that stamina of the horse to be able to keep on going, and especially with our emotions, because we're going to be looking at ourselves, looking at our emotions. We're going to have things happening around us which we're kind of going to be looking at and kind of going to say, oh my gosh, are we going to be walking into that? Do I need to? Okay, what energy is that? Is that love, compassion? Is that, or is that going to be fiery anger? Okay. So do have a look out for that, because I do feel that this red here and this red here, be careful of your words, because this red is very close to this gentleman's mouth. So we've got our own wisdom, okay, as in the aged gentleman. We take ourselves as being this person here. We've got our age, the wisdom of those years that we have already gone through, but we're going to need to be careful about our words. Are they about anger, or are they about passion and love? Okay, so are they going to be dangerous words? Are we going to give out danger rather than actually saying, okay, we need to just come back and let's have a look about love? Now, I keep on talking about the word love because it is for me all the way around, but so is compassion and understanding. Those are the three words that I feel are going to be very strong for this month. So compassion, understanding, love. A few more other words I would say is having that communication and emotion. Understand where your emotions are coming from as well. Be aware of how you're communicating your emotions. All right. Now, do I see it as everybody going to be absolutely happy and jolly? No, I don't see it as kind of frolicking in the month of March, simply because I do feel as though we're going to be needing to be perhaps holding in some emotions just to be able to keep on having that stamina to keep on going. But we've got the strength of the horses around us as well. Here, with this person here, I just feel as though we are going to be learning from having outside influences coming into us as well. Now, when I'm looking down here and I said, oh, it's a man with folded arms, I do see a man with folded arms with big biceps, but it can also be seen as a woman just standing there as well, like a mannequin. So do I feel as though there's going to be an influences around us as well, where they're going to be very strong personalities, but ones that are perhaps our rock, and we're going to be needing to have those rock-like people, those ones around us who know themselves, who know that they are there in the background, able to support and look after ourselves. Now, the other thing I do is just to turn the card around and just to see if there's anything else that I'm picking up. Now, funnily enough, when I had it this way round, I just suddenly saw a figure over here. So I'm just going to turn it around here and see if I can see it. And I can see this. That's the head, there's the nose, the eye, and it looks like they're smoking. And it looks like, I don't know if it's an aged woman or an aged man. Again, it's that age. It's our own. We have to take, I know we are all young at heart, no matter what our age, but our age is also about our wisdom and what we've learned. Okay, for me, look, she's got a big earring, and it reminds me of the character out of the Disney film. I can't remember the Milan. No, not Milan. Uh, where The Rock was singing, the Hawaiian one. Okay, and it's like the grandmother figure. That's what it reminds me of, actually, because I can see a big earring here, but smoking. It's that kind of pondering and being there, actually, being able to, you know, the horse with the stamina is also about being able to stand still and just look and be present. And it's not about lashing out loads and loads of love to here, there and everywhere. Sometimes it's just about being able to sit in your own power and to be able to give it peacefully, calmly, and be able to say, there we go, I blow it out. And that's what I'm seeing there. So you can see her as the Native American Indian. You can, for me, she's just one of those lovely characters. In fact, that kind of the same character that crops up as in The Princess and the Frog, if you like, where she was sitting down. You kind of get the older Disney characters. That's how I'm kind of seeing her. But that kind of, there's her funness to her as well. You know, yes, okay, I may be 95 and all the rest of it, but I also have this funness about me. But I know when to use it, and I know when to hold back. I know when to give, and I know when to receive. I know when to impart information, and I know when to hold back. So she is very much at being able to have a look at the whole picture and being able to take that time out to be able to have a look at the whole thing. And I think that's also important, even if I have it this way out, is about using that wisdom of know when. Oh gosh, I've got Kenny Rogers going through my head now with know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But it's that same situation. And if you have a look, they're one and the same. Okay, so you got it that way around, and you've also got it that way around. Okay. So again, this card for me is speaking about our own inner wisdom, our own knowings, if you like, using our intuition. Okay. Now, I know I can see an imp-like person there having lots of fun, but it's not about, and March is about having fun as well, but knowing that actually March is a lot longer than February, okay, and there's a lot more to go through, and there may be a lot more to go through, and there may be that knowing of, and we look at if I look at the lilac, I'm going to say it's spiritual, because that's where I tend to see it. It's having our spiritual knowing. And it doesn't, and I'm not condoning any religion here. It's whatever religion, however you see yourself, it's about the spiritual. Now, when I look at the spiritual, it's about your soul, your beliefs, whatever they may be, okay? But knowing that that is actually part of your core as well. And it is that core that may be drawn upon as well, to share that information of knowing that we're all interconnected. For me, I do believe that. I believe that even though I've not ever met you, you've not seen me before or whatever, that we are interconnected. That we're connected to the plants that are around us all the time, as well as the animals. That the very soil on which we stand on which we drive across or walk upon, we're connected to that. We are also connected to the stars above. And we're not just connected on a spiritual level, but actually we are connected on a physical level as well. And it's that integration of that energy coming through as well. Okay. So for me, it's very much, if we have a look here, we can see that purple pink colour coming through. So again, it's about seeing that lovely spirituality and knowing that we're all interconnected together regardless. So for the month of March, I love this card. I absolutely love this card. I'm going to have a problem which obviously it will go this way. Remember how you interpret the horse. Like I've given you my interpretations for this month about it, how it's communicating to us. And horses are very, very subtle animals at times. Okay, and so are we humans, right? So it's really looking at things as well. Just be aware of this energy coming in as well. I would like to say it's more on the positive love side, passion, but passion and aggression are sometimes very much closely linked together as well. And don't worry that you're learning as well. Don't worry that you kind of see hints of learning coming in from here, there and everywhere, because actually we never stop learning. We never stop growing. We never stop developing. Nobody knows everything. Really don't. And our perspectives will change as time goes on as well. So sometimes it's kind of a case of listening to the older ones who have kind of gone, yeah, do you know what, we've been through this already. Yeah, we've gone through this. Let me tell you how I dealt with it. And you may find that actually how they dealt with it may be a good way for you to deal with a situation around you as well. So I'd just like to leave that with you for this month. Remember, there is a lot actually going on for this month. There is a lot. Be aware of what your needs are. Okay, if you need to have that time contemplation, find it. Because do I think things are going to be speeding up? Absolutely, they always do. It's spring, you know, things are germinating, things are coming through the soil. There's activities people want to kind of get going and be outside now while the weather is getting better. But sometimes we have to draw it back in and recognise our spirituality and connectedness to everything. So thank you very much for listening to me for this month of March. I hope you have a lovely, lovely month. If there's any comments, I'd love to read your comments and things like that. And again, if you want your own set of pack of Perceptionary cards, by the way, there's 49 of these in the pack. So actually, you as you can have them 4 ways around, that ends up being about 192 cards, something like that, really. And as you can tell, they're different any which way around you have them. Oh, yes, I've spotted her. Just seeing it different. Do you know that suddenly looks like a parrot? If I just take that top part off, I can suddenly see a beak. The eagle, yes, I spotted an eagle earlier on, didn't I? Up here, and I said, oh look, there's an eagle. Actually, it's the lady's head now that I see it. But the eagle, for me, it's being able to see above everything. Just to I forgot to mention that, because the eagle flies high. I'm not quoting now, but how many song lyrics can I quote in a reading? But yes, the eagle flying high, because it can see a whole perspective. And for me, even when I look at this lady, again, she's being able to give that time to be able to see and take in everything that's around her as well. Okay. It's not about the tearing apart or anything. It's about that soaring and being able to have that wonderful vision of seeing everything but pinpointing details out as well. Have a wonderful March of 2022. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Take care now. Look after yourselves. Goodbye.